Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Thomas. I'm 27 years old. I'm in a digital cinematography program. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, but I relocated down to Atlanta in 2003, where I attended North Clayton High School, where I graduated. My whole life, I can remember being in love with movies and all kind of movies of all types. I remember the first time I seen Jurassic Park, and I was just like, wow, I really want to be a part of something that was that amazing. And so I enrolled at Fullsail. Well, film being so, it's a tough industry to get into, and I wanted to get into a school that had an amazing track record with film. And when I also checked out you guys' graduation rates, I felt like Fullsail was definitely the right place for me to be. In 10 years, I want to have my own production company. Right now, I'm currently interning for the Dream Factory, which is a small company here in Atlanta. Just trying to build my experience up so that way I can become an established director and hopefully try to get younger youth and people to get more involved in film than they are today. I want to start a production company and be a director. And the reason why is that I like creative control. I like to be able to manipulate things and for people to see it the way that I see it. I feel like kind of in the movie business today, they're kind of bland. Like nobody really travels outside the box to make original films. It's more, comic books or remakes of older movies, and I want to be able to bring something different. And if I have a production company, I kind of say what goes and what doesn't go, and what fits and what kind of talents I want to work with. So that's really the reason why I want to be a producer and also be a director. Well, for those in the film world, we know that we have to get down to 3 P's, and that's the pre-production, production, and post-production. And those are the 3 keys of making a film. There's obviously other steps, but to really get those down pat, to me, would speak volumes, and it would help me, I know, through my career as a director or producer or any facet of film that I want to enjoy. First step, I guess, would be a cameraman. Not really something that I would like to get into. Well, I guess I kind of do, because you get to be able to understand the shots and which shots bring out what emotions when you set them up and you watch the director. So that's a job that I wouldn't mind getting into, that allows me to interact with the movies and really get a keen sense on how to bring out emotions and how to play into the audience's emotions as well. I mean, so often you have main dishes and you have side dishes, and before you really make your main dish, you really want to get good at making side dishes, because the main dish is what takes the most effort. It takes a lot of effort to prepare a good dish. And I feel like being a cameraman is like a side dish, almost like a green bean or a coleslaw. And it's like the cherry on top, because if ever you fall into a situation where you don't have a cameraman or you're looking to direct your first project, you know exactly what you want and you know exactly how to get the cameraman to do it because you've already been there. And then you have a newfound respect for these positions as well. After being a cameraman and getting experience in the camera level, definitely as I'm the cameraman, I will be paying attention to the director and director of photography and things of that nature. But also, I think it's so vital that I get into editing and just learning the processes of editing a film and all that goes into it. And that just is another building block for directing, so that way I know the processes and how I want things to look, and if it's not done appropriately, because generally with movies, the editor is not really attached to the movie as much as the director. If the movie flops, it's generally on the director. And I want to make sure that in editing, if something's going away that I do not care for, I have the liberties to be able to go in and explain to him what I'm looking for and use that as I'm searching for an editor for my movies as well. Getting these type of experiences as a cameraman or editor, the only way to really gain experience is to continue working on projects. That's one thing that Art Jones, who runs Dream Factory, he expresses to me all the time is that you have to continue to work on projects, pick up projects. Even if the projects don't pan out, you want to be able to gain some type of experience. Even if the project pans out or it fails, you want to know why it fails. So it kind of can be beneficial to be part of a bad project in a sense. But yeah, those things, you have to have experience. And that's one thing that I'm trying to build on right now. Definitely, I've already done some networking here at Fullsail where I interact with classmates, and I'll be interacting with the graduation class, and when I go to the graduation, I'll be interacting with people I meet there in the same field, or visual arts, or whatever field you guys are in. So that way, I can be able to build and start to interact with people. But also, I think a good way to network, it's also through Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram. A lot of people want to be involved in what you're doing, and it's easy to find people in your same field with the hashtags now and the groups and the communities you can get into on these various networks. So I think that's pretty good, and just really doing a lot of groundwork. Being visual is a good way to network as well. Like me being out taking my camera to a park or taking my camera to downtown Atlanta, a lot of people take notice, and some people will stop me and ask me, what kind of equipment do I use, and things of this nature. And I think all that plays into my networking. I don't know, visual art is everywhere, and I think the important part about visual art is that everybody has to understand my vision and your vision are different. And because of that, I can convey a story differently than other people can convey it. Some people become complacent and they like to fall in line. But as artists, I feel like we have to travel outside the box. And my vision in particular, I feel like I know how to find the grit of a story. And I feel like sometimes for Hollywood, we downplay the realities, the harsh realities sometimes of these stories. And we kind of rob the viewers of the authenticity of these stories. And I feel like that's one thing that in film or in digital cinematography, I will be able to grasp, and I will be able to push it onto a screen to whereas it's understood and it's received by the audiences, and they'll be able to have a better experience watching the film. I mean, as I said before, I feel a lot of these movies these days are sort of kind of prototypical. There's thousands of genres of movies, but I feel like in Hollywood we only really produce a certain type of movie, whether it's the comic book movies or the love comedies or the action comedies. I feel like those are the only ones that we touch on, but there are so many more movies that we can make outside of documentaries and scary movies, or make a combination of the genres and place them into a movie and really be able to take off. And I feel like having a creative process, having a creative thought, and not being so far into the film, whereas I've already known what's accustomed to have the mentality of being able to change what we can make a movie, I feel like would definitely give my company and whoever I work for the upper edge on being innovative in the film industry. To sum it up, I'm just a young black man, African American, trying to wheel his way into Hollywood, and I feel like my personal story, on top of the stories of the bodies around me, friends and family, I think that me having that experience definitely allows me to I can tap into that and become a great director or a great storyteller, screenwriter. There's nothing that I really don't want to do now, even from making scores to just really being involved in my films now. So once I get to a point where I gain experience or I have the backing of a big corporation, I know I'll do great things. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure on me. Like I said, I'm from Cincinnati. Favorite director in the world right now to me has been Steven Spielberg and the work that he's put out. And he being from Cincinnati as well, puts a lot of pressure on me. But I'm willing to take on the pressure. I'm willing to hit the ground running and try to do my best to be innovative and to be original and to make things that will stand the test of time, like a Spielberg or George Lucas and people of this nature, or Michael Bay or people of these natures. And I want to be able to stand next to them as their contemporaries and figure out not only what they did to be successful, but what I can do to exceed, if possible, the movies that they did. So, yeah.